Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tanaka Mundui, and welcome to another edition of Talk Amongst Yourselves. We try to do the numbers. We have no idea how many episodes it's been since the beginning, but a very long time. Thank you so much for joining us in all these sporting conversations. Before we get into what we'll be talking about on today's show, I must first say that this video is sponsored by YGFR, your good friend Rosalia. Now, if you're looking at my head wondering what's happening here, it's all part of sponsorship deals. Before I was just a consumer, now I'm sponsored. Hey? What are you saying about that, Cash? Thank you so much. So listen, do yourselves a favor. If you want to get one of these pieces right here, or anything to do with satin, that's from pillowcases to bonnets to bows and other various combos, you can go over to www.ygfr.co.za. They have an assortment of all delights for your satin needs. So yeah, do yourselves that favor, ladies and gentlemen. So, ellipsis, let's get into sport. This past weekend, I was at the EFC 85 event, or fight card rather, at the High Performance Center out in Rivonia. Only a select few of us were allowed to go. So, very exclusive company that I kept. I came here, let me tell you the joke. The joke is I came here, I picked up Cash's camera. I said, Cash, listen, give me your camera. I want to go document everything, take her out, pictures. Unbeknownst to me, Cash's camera is impossible to use. Everything just came out super blurry. It was a shambles. So, what I have, I can't share, but the event was great. I think, first and foremost, I must give kudos to the EFC because they put together something that was spectacular in a time which has been very difficult for them. They came up with the acumen initiative, which we spoke about on this show, where they're trying to essentially crowdfund for, through selling assets and equity, or not assets, rather equity, in the business to kind of raise a certain amount of money that they need to run their business throughout this difficult period. But the event was stellar and the fight card was great. Cameron Saman, one of the standouts for me in the preliminaries, up against Billy Oosthuizen. That fight was great. But there were so many great fights. And notwithstanding, of course, the reason we were all there, the Bantamweight title fight between Faeez Jacobs and Sylvester Chipfumbu. I spoke to them before the fight. And today, I get the honor of speaking to the winner. Sylvester Chipfumbu will join us on the thing where you see his face and we talk and we do all that fun stuff to talk about his thoughts about being the second now, after Themba Gorimbo, EFC champion from Zimbabwe, and also just against Faeez in these circumstances in an empty arena. It's so many things around the fight, what his thoughts on, what he does going forward from here. So that's everything I'm going to discuss with Sylvester. You can get in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. All right, let's chat to him. Okay, got the EFC champ with me, Bantamweight champ, Sylvester Chipfumbu, on the Zoom. Thank you so much for coming on, Sylvester. Really appreciate your time, man.
No, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like you're in a fight. Like, literally, cage, 25 rounds just the other night, and here you are looking fresh.
No, it was a tough fight. Props to Faeez, He gave me a run for my money.
Yeah. No,
but I was determined, and what matters, I came out on top.
Absolutely. I remember speaking to you before the interview, and look, there's so much for us to unpack, right? So much for us to say about the fights and how it went for you on the night. But I want to get first and foremost your reflections, man. You are now an EFC Bantamweight champion. There was a fight for you, a title fight for you at flyweight, which unfortunately didn't go your way. What does this moment feel like for you, for someone who started in the streets of Zimbabwe and all the way to South Africa, and now a champion in a major promotion in Africa?
It feels great, man. After I lost that fight back in 2017, I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do this anymore because I got injured so bad. But with the team that I had around me, people encouraged me to get back into it, and also working on my mental side of life. I think I came back into it. But when I moved to Joburg, I started training with these guys, Martin and Themba Gorimbo. My mindset just switched, and I started training like a champion, like I said before. Carried myself as a champion, and I won some rounds against champions. So I feel like after that, it was written in the stars. It was inevitable. It was just a matter of winning. I knew I was gonna be a champion. So I'm not getting carried away now by the fact that I'm a champion. I just feel like something that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just gonna get back in there, work, put in the work, and focus on the next task.
Yeah, I was watching old fights of yours, and it absolutely blows my mind, Sylvester, that you're able to cut down all the way to flyweight. Like, that's crazy. Like, in the cage against Faeez, you look the bigger guy, you know? You look the more imposing guy. So the fact that you're able to cut your weight down to flyweight, I mean, bantamweight you haven't lost yet, right? It's clearly a division that suits you well. How do you feel at that weight versus how you felt at flyweight?
I think this is the best weight class for me. Flyweight was just a trial and error. I tried too many times. I don't think I'm gonna do that again. Also, I feel like I was a bit desperate to get in there because I was offered a title. But looking back at it's something that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But I think I put myself at a risk, my health and my well-being. So I think I'm gonna stay in the Bantamweight division for quite some time. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. You back training already? Or I'm seeing behind you, it seems like there's some activity.
Not training.
Yeah.
I'm not training. I'm just going to the gym. I just watch the guys train. I'll help in whichever way I can.
Yeah.
If need be, if I need to carry some watch, I'll do that. But I haven't been training. I think I'm only gonna start next week.
All right, so let's talk about the fight then, Sylvester. I mean, so much was made about you versus Faeez because we know you two to be very capable standing up. Yeah, that's how you guys fight, forward pressure fighters. And that was where I think the matchup became so exciting for so many people who love the EFC and love how you guys fight, right? Is we expected a slugfest, an absolute war. And the reality of the situation is we got that, right? We got that for the 25 rounds. But the trump card for you was your wrestling ultimately. It was the neutralizer, what you went back to when I suppose there was some trouble for you. My question then is, tactically, was that always part of the game plan? Was it always to wrestle and be the stronger, more opposing man in the hex? Or was it, let's fight with this man standing up and lean to more your karate base?
I feel like Faeez and myself, we both technical strikers. And like you said, obviously the wrestling made the difference. But not forgetting the main reason I came here to Zimbabwe was for me to be a well-rounded fighter. I mean, this is MMA. You need to mix it up. You need to be unpredictable. You need to keep your opponents guessing. I mean, even if you look at my fight, my last fight with Aziashu, it was the same thing. I think this is me evolving, and I'm just showing it each and every time I get into the hexagon. So I wouldn't say it's a game plan, but this is MMA. This is what it's all about. You cannot be one-dimensional, especially when it gets to this level of competition. You need to be well-rounded. So I feel like I showed that I'm the superior athlete, and the results show on the night.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're a new champion over in the EFC. You called this belt an interim belt. You said Faeez wasn't the real champion. So what does that make you?
I mean, I'm the real champion now.
Yeah.
Because like this, I feel like this. Even if he wasn't the interim champion or there was no champion, I feel like this is the best proper unification of the title since JP left. I mean, if there's anyone who disputes that, I'm more than ready to put on the gloves and get it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold back anything. I mean, I wouldn't want to be even a free title shot. If I was an interim title, I wouldn't want to be called a champion because the original or the real champion to another organization or retired or whatever. I would call myself a champion only after I fight and win the title.
Yeah. So to that point though, would you have to beat JP in order to, I know you say you are the real champion right now, but JP was the champion and then he left. Is that someone who in your future you're thinking you need to beat to?
And he left.
Yeah.
And he left and the guys fought for an interim title, right? And he was an interim champion. So this was, JP's not coming back. So there had to be a fight for the real title.
Okay.
This title fight didn't have interim in it. It was like Bantamweight World Championship. And I feel like I'm the first person to win the Bantamweight title without any strings attached since JP left.
Yeah. We'll talk about, your fights coming forward and what your plans on. Maybe mention JP's name again. But I have to ask you about Faeez. You said something very interesting in the build-up to the fight. You said, technically, in all aspects, you don't feel like he is your equal. Wrestling, striking, you said he has the heart to fight, the will and not necessarily the skill to go with it. What did you learn about Faeez in the first round of that fight? When all gloves were flying, it was leather everywhere. Did you learn something about Faeez in that moment?
I feel like it's the same thing. Like I said before the fight. I wrestled that guy from the first to the last round. I think for each and every round we fought, I think I hit him hard. I rocked him, but he still kept coming. He was in my face, so it just proved that I was right. That this guy never goes away. Wrestling wise, I was beating him up, and stand up, I would say maybe it was a 50-50 thing, especially even the first round. I think I was controlling the fight. I don't know, maybe the first 4 minutes of the fight. Only part he dominated was when he dropped. I think that was it only. And then the last round, obviously, was for the finish because he knew that he had lost more rounds. So yeah, he is aggressive. He's a brawler. He's everything. But I felt like I was better technical on both stand-up and striking, and I feel like I showed maturity. I didn't get to brawl with him. I didn't buy the fact that he's a brawler, and I didn't get into his game plan. I stuck to my game plan, and obviously I feel like all these other guys in the 135 division, they have a tough fight against Faeez. If any one of the guys ever fights Faeez, it's gonna be a long night for them.
Yeah, I spoke to Themba after the fight, and also Damata after the fight as well, and he was saying there was a real scare. Firstly, you got knocked down, right? Naturally, how hurt were you by that? Then they said there was a time when you were close to that side, your corner, and you got hit with the elbow, and they said they almost saw like your eyes go back, like you were almost out. How hurt were you in that first round?
I feel like I recovered real quick. I don't know. Obviously, someone who's watching the fight, someone who loves you, someone who's there for you. Like maybe 10 or 20 seconds can feel like forever. But I feel like as soon as he dropped me, he tried to finish me on the ground, but I recovered real quick and started hitting with the elbows. Like, in fact, the thing that made me realize that I wasn't out of this, I felt each and every elbow. Like sometimes in training, when I get blocked, I start getting hit. I don't feel the punches, I just go down. But I felt each and every elbow that hit me, and I managed to recover very well. I got him into a clinch, and I even threw some punches. I think we got into an exchange against the fence until the bell rang. So yeah, it did block me, but I didn't feel like I was out completely. And props to the ref, man. He's a good ref.
Yeah.
If it was any other inexperienced ref for a title fight like that, they would have stopped the fight. But he knew that I had a fight. And also the thing is, if I was robbed, I don't think I would have come strong the second round. But because a minute is not enough for you to recover after getting robbed. But I came, I felt like nothing happened, and I feel like I dominated again the second round.
Last question on Faeez, where does he rank in terms of the guys in which you fought previously? And I mean, you fought some absolute brawlers in there, and Kazimulu Zulu included. Where do you put him as in terms of his toughness and what he gave you in the Hex?
I think he's on the top of the food chain. That's after myself, obviously.
Yeah, so, naturally.
With the Zulu, his thing is when we fought, I didn't give him much time, so I'll never know how tough he is. Because when I fought him, I think I won the first round. Second round, I don't make the draw for the draw. But then after that, he completely dominated. Like, I didn't put him too much trouble that I can test his pain threshold. But Faeez, I know I did rock. I don't know if you watched the fight again. I rocked him a couple of times, but he was always in my face. So I just feel like it's the toughest fight of my career up to date. He's the toughest opponent that I've ever faced. That's why I say all these other 135 first. I feel like if they fight Faeez, or when they fight Faeez, they're gonna be a long night for them.
I mean, let's talk about what comes next, Themba. I'm saying Themba. Let's talk about what comes next, Sylvester. It's going to be exciting to see you go forward. You don't believe like you can be beaten in that bantamweight division, but the ghost, Manengelas, who they've tipped to be your next opponent. Just a word on him and that face-off. What happened with Themba? Did Themba say what happened and what got him so riled up? So after the fight, just for context for everybody, we were in the press conference, and there was a kickoff with Themba and some of the guys at the back.
I don't know what the other guys said to him from Manengela's corner, and obviously he didn't say nice words to Themba, and Themba was just pissed off. So that's why what happened. But going to Sindile, I have nothing but respect for him. He's proved himself that he's one of the top guys, and I can't wait to get in there with him. But like I said before, like once I get my hands on this goal, it's not going, and heads are gonna roll. If these guys are smart enough, they should start changing TV. You want to be a champion while I'm there, while I'm alive, while I'm in that division.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a dream that's never going to become a reality. I'm here to stay.
Yeah, let's talk about, the fact that you're here to stay. You're surrounded, you're next to a guy who's saying next move for him is the UFC. Demart Pena is talking about maybe going to fight in Europe. Faeez Jacobs was talking UFC before your fight. I don't know if in any way, shape, or form overlooking you. I can't speak to that. But that's something yet you haven't spoken about. And I'm curious as to where your feelings are about getting to the UFC. And is that for you naturally a next step to take, or are you comfortable being dominant here on the continent?
No, I'm not comfortable being in the EFC. It's just a stepping stone, man. But the thing is, I don't want to get myself, carried away by things that are a bit out of my reach. UFC is coming here next year. If I can defend my title at least twice, well then I'll be ready. Because obviously I need to. It's been a while since we fought again. I still need to spend some time in the hexagon, to get rid of all the ring rust and everything. By the time the UFC comes this year, I'll be ready. But man, we're working on it. If it does come sooner, if the call comes, then I don't mind. I don't get ready. I stay ready. Some of my training partners now have fights coming up. So as soon as I'm cleared to train again, I'm getting back in there, and I'm going to start preparing. So whenever the opportunity presents itself, I'll be ready. But I don't want to put it out there and deep down inside I know it's not there. So I like to deal with what's in front of me. Like EFC said, I can fight. I'll fight Sindile now. That's my focus. But if the call from the UFC comes, I don't mind.
Are you looking at all in any way, shape, or form? I know you said you don't want to look past what's in front of you and where you're at right now, but are you looking at guys in the UFC, the bantamweight division, which is absolutely stacked right now, one of the best divisions right now in the UFC, where there's Corey Sandhagen, there's Cody Garbrandt, Peter Yan, who's lost his bout recently to Aljamain Sterling. Are those guys you watch and you look at, and if yes, what do you make of the top level guys in the EFC when you envisage yourself up against them?
But yeah, like most guys, like now, if you follow these guys who are on this fight this week, you'll be surprised to see that half of them now are at work right now as we speak. They only train maybe an hour or two a day. They don't have the resources. They don't have, I'd say, things like a massage after training. They don't have the recovery that those guys overseas have. We just don't have the resources. I just feel like if a few of us have to go and experience what those guys experience overseas, they have those performance institutes with doctors, with dietitians, everything. It's absolutely free of time. I just feel like if we had those things, we can make them right. we can make that talent. Because I mean, look at guys like Themba Gorimbo, their mindset, their work ethic, and what they've done. I mean, he's beaten, I think his past 3 or 4 fights, he's beaten guys from overseas on. So there's nothing special about these guys. And we have guys in the UFC now that are on a roll, because Don Mage, Champion Daucha, they've been doing well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct, man. And I guess we wait to see what happens with you in your future. If it's here for a little while longer, then we're grateful. Maybe before we wrap it all up, you won the belt, second champion out of Zimbabwe, alongside your training partner and coach Themba Gorimbo. We have to speak about that for just a little bit. That's huge. It's unfortunate because of COVID, you may not have been able to take the belt back and do all the the tours and go around to the places that you grew up and the dojos where you trained. But yeah, man, I guess it's a question about that sense of pride. You and me are both from Zim, and I know what that means to leave and achieve in the diaspora and then come back, with having notable achievements. What is that moment, if you can take us into your feelings? What does that do for you? What does that feel like for you when you've taken such a massive step forward for mixed martial arts in a whole country?
I've said this before, and I feel like I've said it enough times this whole week. There's only like less than 5 or less active guys on the roster. Imagine if there were 20 of us, man, like with the same work ethic, I just feel like, Themba and myself, we paved the way for lots of athletes from back home. Even the guys we train with, we have at least 2 Zimbabweans. One is professional, the other one is going to be professional soon. These guys are super talented. And with the kind of work ethic that we have, I just feel like they're going to go far. And it's exciting. I feel like the future looks bright. And, I just want to, like, reach out to the Minister of Sports from Zim to support these guys. I just feel like in Africa, especially, the governments only support sports like soccer and rugby and cricket, blah blah. But we have overachievers at the sports, like swimming, MMA, karate. We need diversity in the government. They need to spread these resources evenly so that we can have champions in more sports, in all walks of life.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is where we'll leave it. I almost forgot to talk about the fact that you fought in an empty hexagon at the Performance Institute for the UFC. It didn't sound empty when you were fighting. Your entourage or team that you had with you was quite loud. Maybe firstly, I got to ask, I heard them shouting Vuramsana. And Vuramsana, you know the way?
Is that?
And Vuramsana.
That's
Vuramsana, you know the way, George? Huh? I was hearing all sorts of instructions coming from the guys at the top, and I was surprised. This mean something to them in training, or
I don't know. Some of these things we say our like we have our own code names and stuff for things. So if you say something, I know I have to do something.
Oh, I see.
Especially with us guys from safety, it's an advantage. If you see Themba is the most vocal in my corner, so it helps me a lot. Yeah. All these other guys, they tell him if they have anything that they see that I need to do, they tell him, and he's the one who tells me. So that the other corner and then my opponent don't know what's happening.
So just your thoughts real quick, what that was like. I mean, you've obviously fought rather in small arenas, but just to have no fans there fighting for a championship, was it different, better? Was it easier for you? What are your thoughts around the whole empty arena mixed martial arts experience?
What's crazy, man, is like I knew most of my friends, my training partners, and my clients. They had organized watch parties back home. Like they had like a dry sort of. They were watching the fights, and the kids as well. They had their own thing that they had organized for by the parents. They were watching, so it felt as if they were right there watching me, man. So I just feel like they never left, and yeah, but also when I fight, sometimes I just, block all the noise. It's just me and my opponent. So, but deep down inside, I know my fans, my other training partners, and whoever is there to see, watching, and I only realized it after the fight. I can tell you, someone was saying this, but during the fight, it's the same thing. So I feel like it was a good thing. Also, like someone like Faeez, I feel like he draws his energy off the fans. Like you can see the way he acts before the fight, before the way. So I just feel like it worked to my advantage.
Hey, listen, man. I guess it did, and new and forever, I suppose. That's your plan out in the EFC. Sylvester, man, thank you so much for coming on. Really do appreciate it. You and me obviously will keep talking and stuff like that on the phone and all that fun stuff. But looking forward to what you do next.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nah. Grateful to you. All the best, yeah.